Hello, Bookworms, and welcome to the Weekend Readers Book Club. In this episode, we are discussing the 320-page action drama novel released in 1972, entitled First Blood by David Morrell. Now, if you're not familiar with First Blood, it is the book that got turned into the movie Rambo. So, First Blood is based around two main characters, really. Rambo, who is a returned Green Beret vet who, on face value, isn't anything to look at nor looks like a decorated war hero. And the local sheriff, Tassel, who is going through some heartache but is determined to get Rambo to leave his town because people looking like Rambo have no place in Tassel's town. What happens next is Tassel asking Rambo to leave, Rambo standing his ground because he can, and then it leads us on to a wild story of cat and mouse where Rambo decides to give in to his urges and just causes mayhem upon the small town, and it's up to Tassel and all his fellow policemen and sheriffs to try and capture and bring Rambo to justice. Now, what I liked about this book is it's split up into three parts. The first part's the beginning. It gives you the story about what's going on now. The second part is when all the chaos happens, and the third part is Rambo trying to outdo the cops, and the cops trying to rein Rambo in. It was a very enjoyable read, and it was very well paced, and the character development on both Tassel and Rambo was great, and there were a few extra characters that you meet along the way, and they tied into the story well, but the overall story in relation to Rambo versus the main sheriff was very, very well told in this book. I also enjoyed the ideology of both Rambo and Tassel because they're both ex-army guys. So Dave Morrell tells the story present day, but then also has flashbacks to when they were in the army or in the war, and you sort of understand why stuff's going on, especially with Rambo now, because of what's happened while he was a Green Beret over fighting a war. In addition to that, the ending of the book, wow. The ending was amazing because as you got closer and closer to the end, I was intrigued to see how they would tie the bow off and finish the story, and they did it really well. I won't give the ending away, but it was a great ending to summarize both Rambo and Tassel's character. Let's just say that. What I didn't like about the book, there was only one thing. There's a part of the book where Rambo's in a cave, and the way in which the story I interpreted, he turned into somewhat Batman. Surrounded by bats and bat poo, and all I could think of is he's turned into goddamn Batman. Now, this is only for a little part of the chapter and a little part of the actual story where Rambo was on the run, but for that little bit, it took me out. And I don't know if I'm just automatically assuming somebody playing with bats is Batman, but the way in which I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, they turned him into Batman. But besides that, this book was absolutely great. I had no other qualms with the book. That was my only thing. I loved the ending. I loved the character development. I loved the whole story. It was really good. And it is a very good story where you could actually see this happen in real life. The way in which Rambo gets arrested to kick off that everything happens. You can see that happen in real life where potentially over-aggressive, say, law enforcement approaches an individual incorrectly, be it an introvert or somebody with PTSD, and what could have just been a calm, cool conversation turns into something completely blown out of proportion. And that's what I really enjoyed with First Blood, was the story you could see, and you could see firsthand how something small just got blown out of proportion to the point where it had blown so big there was no way to pull it back in. So you may be asking yourself, with us completing First Blood by David Morrell, will this book be going on to my bookshelf? And I can say absolutely yes. This book took me by surprise because I was expecting action, and I did get action. But it also gave me some drama and some real connection to both Rambo and Tassel, where I was just like, this book is absolutely amazing. And it is something completely different to what I've actually read to date on the Weekend Readers Book Club. So thank you, David Morrell, because First Blood is now going to be going onto my bookshelf. Now, as it customs here on the Weekend Readers Book Club, as one book closes, another book has to open, and it is now time to find out what the weekend readers and next readers, and I can confirm that we are going back to back with books that were turned into movies. The next book that we will be reading is Madame Doubtfire by Anne Fine. Now, this book got turned into a movie, yes, Mrs. Doubtfire, starring Robin Williams, so it's going to be intriguing to see if I actually enjoy this book or not. I picked this book up at the local library because it came across my radar for some reason, and I can't remember why, but it's on the pile to read. So, Madame Doubtfire, you are our next read on the Weekend Readers Book Club. So, Bookworms, that covers off my discussion of First Blood by David Morrell, an absolutely fantastic book that I enjoyed reading. If you're on the fence, or you've picked up a copy and gone, should I give this a whirl? I would say if you like drama and if you like action books, First Blood is worth a try anyway if you haven't already read it. Now, you can follow us on our socials. We are available on Instagram at Weekend Readers Book Club, or you can find us on Spotify and YouTube, where our podcast will be released at The Weekend Readers. Until next time, Bookworms, thank you for joining us, and happy reading.